and welcome to Home with the Halsteads. I have my dear friend Elaine Powell here with me today, and I could not be more thrilled. She has agreed to come and show us one of her recipes, demonstrate it for us, and I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm just going to let her jump right in and tell us all about it. It's my favorite, and this is one that you're going to want to share. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, let's get at least 50 shares out of this recipe because it's that good. So take it away, sister.
Thank you, Joyce. It's so fun to be here with Joyce today. And like she said, this is a favorite recipe. Every time we have a Sunday school get-together or I serve on the bereavement committee, everybody says, well, Elaine, you can bring your pecan pie muffins. And I'm thinking, is there not anything else I can make? As one of 13 children, I do know how to make a few other things too. But everybody always wants pecan pie muffins. Now, I've shared the recipe, but some of the ladies say, Elaine, you're not telling us everything because ours don't turn out like yours.
That's right, my dog. So I'm so glad you're here.
So, I'm going to share it just like I do it every time I prepare it, which I've probably prepared at least, I'd say 2,000 to 3,000 pecan pie muffins over the years. And the recipe was shared with me by a friend in my Sunday school class who made the large muffins, and I just took it and tweaked it to make the mini muffins because really and truly, 1 or 2 mini muffins is plenty for anybody to eat.
That's right.
But this is a time of the year that you'll want to share this recipe simply because it's a wonderful fall recipe. Pecans are coming in season, and in Georgia, we really need to push pecans because pecan farmers are out there doing their thing, and they need people to support them. So in honor of the farmers, and
yes.
October is breast cancer awareness, and I'm wearing pink.
Right.
I'm willing to share this recipe with everyone, and I hope that you'll take it home and do it for your family because they're going to want it. And then when you take it somewhere, take the recipe with you because everybody's going to want the recipe.
That's right. Tell us real quickly before we get started making it, tell us the ingredients that you have in it.
Okay, so I use 5 ingredients, simple. I use dark brown sugar, and I use a specific kind. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but
okay.
Dixie Crystal is the best dark brown sugar. I use cake flour, and I always use Swan's Down cake flour. My mom always used cake flour when she was making cakes. Pecans, Georgia pecans, and probably some Alabama and other pecans too, but I'm partial to Georgia pecans. Eggs and butter, and that's all it is.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's get busy and whip it up and show our friends how to do it.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, we're back, and we're going to be making the muffins. So the first thing I do is 1 cup of packed dark brown sugar. To that, I add 1/2 cup of Swan's Down cake flour. And then I mix this really well. The original recipe had you putting all the dry ingredients together, but for me, it works better if you mix these two and then just add the pecans. And probably, if my son is watching, he would say, Mama, it's pecans. But how do you pronounce it, Joyce?
I say pecans sometimes, and then sometimes I just forget and I just let that country come out of me and I say pecans.
Well, I'm not sure how it's really supposed to be said. What's the correct pronunciation? Maybe someone on the video will tell us how to really pronounce it. But I've always said pecans. But some of my family says pecans, and I don't know what the Georgia farmers say or what the pecan farmers say, but sometimes it takes a little while to get all this mixed together. You want it mixed good together. You don't want any lumps, and sometimes that brown sugar will have a few lumps. So you just have to just keep working until you get it kind of like you want it. Actually, the brown sugar will kind of dissolve even if there's a few little lumps in it. But you just keep working it and working it until you get it like you want it. And then there's still a few little lumps in there, but that's okay. It'll dissolve when you put it in the oven, or it has for me in the past now. So, okay, so now to this. Now, I add a lot of pecans. I think the recipe might have called for 1 cup, but I'm gonna always put at least 2 cups or a little bit more.
Elaine, are those chopped pecans, and how did you chop them?
Yes, they are chopped pecans, and I just have a little mini chopper. I can pick it up with one hand, and I just chop them. And you can chop them to the consistency. Sometimes if I'm preparing this to take to someone in assisted living or something like that, I will chop them a little bit more, Joyce, just because it makes it easier for them. So there you have that. That's the dry ingredients.
Right. Now, did you put about 2 cups, or are you going to put the rest of those, or did you just
No,
put about 2 cups?
I put about 2 cups in there.
About 2 cups
and
of chocolate.
once you see it in, if you want to add more, you can. And it just, like if you're preparing it for, someone in assisted living or shut in or something that has difficulty chewing, you can chop them up finer and maybe not put as many. So you can gauge that. I'm just a nut girl, so I love nuts. So now we've got the dry ingredients ready to go. So now I'm going to prepare the eggs. And one of the most important things about the eggs is there are 2 eggs, and you have to beat them until they're foamy, and that they will not turn out right if you don't beat them until they're foamy. So just keep beating them until they're foamy. And to that, you add 1 stick of butter. Now, I've already melted this stick of butter. I melt it ahead of time because I don't want it to be hot when I pour it into the 2 eggs. So just make sure you melt that a little bit ahead of time so that it has cooled down, so when you put it in your egg, it will not cook the egg. You just mix that together really well. Mix the egg and the butter together. And then you just pour it into your dry mixture.
Now that looks like you're making biscuits. Did you make a little well, or?
Well,
Does that matter?
The recipe says to make a well, but sometimes I do, Joyce, and sometimes I don't. But it probably works better if you do it like the original recipe and make that well, and just pour those wet ingredients into that. And then you just stir it around, and you can tell already that this is just going to be so good.
Oh, I can't wait. I know it's going to be delicious.
Just stir it around until you get all the dry ingredients wet with the butter and egg. And there you have it.
Okay.
Now we're ready to put it in our muffin tins.
Okay, and we're going to prepare the muffin tins and show them how to do that, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute.
Okay, so now we're ready to put the ingredients or the mixture of the pecan pie muffins into the tins. But one of the most important things for me to keep them from sticking, for them to come out easy every time, and so that there's no stick, is I use the Baker's Joy, and I spray the tin really, really well with Baker's Joy. So here we go. Okay, and then once you get that done, you're ready to start filling your muffin tins. And it's real simple. I fill it almost to the top. And so you can see.
And this makes how many, Huline?
It makes 24 mini muffins.
Uh-huh.
And so once we get the tins all filled, then we'll bake it in our preheated 350-degree oven. Now, probably about 18 minutes, but as you know, all ovens are different. But with my oven, it's 18 minutes, and I take it out because I don't want them to overcook, but I want to make sure that, you know, everything is cooked and ready to go. So.
Okay, so let's continue to work to fill these and pop them in the oven, and then we'll come back and we'll show you Huline's finished product, and I can't wait. See you in a few minutes.
Okay, so here's the finished product, and so 24 pecan pie muffins, little mini pecan pie muffins, and they're ready to pop out. And as soon as they're kind of warm to touch, we'll just pop them out, and then they'll be ready to eat.
Oh, that sounds good. Thank you so much, Huline, for coming.
It's been my pleasure. It's been so much fun, and I hope you'll enjoy these pecan pie muffins as much as we do, Joyce.
We do love them, and I want you to help me to get this recipe out there by sharing it. Hit that share button. And again, I want us to work together to see if we can get 50 shares. I know that we can do it. Huline, this recipe deserves to go everywhere.
It does. It
we
really
want
does.
everybody to learn to make these pecan pie muffins. And I will see you again really, really soon. Thanks, friend.
Thank you for inviting me.